the edition of NDLA's Open Forum on X Space, and I'm your host, Femi Babafemi. Today, we will be talking about something current, something important, and something that is of great concern, that should be of great concern anyway, to parents, to guardians, and to citizens of this country. And that is the creeping culture of drug party among adolescents, among our youth, who become the risk and indeed gaps. That is what we will be looking at today. Once again, a very warm welcome to everyone joining us from across the globe. This is the edition of NDI Forum. Thank you very much. We are live from the national headquarters of this great institution, that is the NDLA, located at the nation's federal capital territory, Abuja. This is a platform where we share information, knowledge, and raise awareness about substance abuse and its devastating on how lives, public health, and indeed priorities. We also know that this provide support to those, especially those who need treatment. It means for us to update you about our activities of the agency, what we're doing to curb the scourge of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking, as well as getting your feedback so that we can continue to improve on our deliverables and serve you, our society, and indeed humanity better. It's important to let you know that this conversation is recorded and is streamed live on our other social media handles, especially at NDLA01 on Facebook and at NDLA TV on YouTube. You can always go back after this conversation. That's just immediately after the top of the hour, 5 o'clock, because this conversation goes on for the next 2 hours. We're already deep into the 2 hours, 17 minutes past the hour already, but then we hope we'll be able to cover all the lost grants due to the initial glitches. Before I invite our guests today we're having more than one guest. We indeed having a bumper one, three at a go, and that's because all of them are young Nigerians, and so we'd like to hear from them about this all important topic. Before we invite them one after the other to make their presentation, let's get updates that some of the activities of, let's remind you some of the activities of the agency, which comes in our news highlight segment, which will be taken by Neta and Peace. Neta, let's quickly have your updates for this week. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good day to everyone, and thank you for joining us on this week's X Space. My name is Neta Dozier, and here are the NDLEA news highlights for the week. First, the headlines. NDLEA uncovers UK-bound cocaine in cream containers, meth in water heater. Raids Lagos nightclub over drug party. Arrest owner, Pretty Mike, others. Mosutu with ice in coffee tea pack at Enugu Airport. 75-year-old grandpa in Abia. Female distributor of Loud in Lekki, Ikoyi, VI and environs. A total of 70 parcels of cocaine, factory packed in walls of cocoa butter formula body cream containers, heading to London, United Kingdom, have been uncovered at the export shed of the Murtala Muhammed International Airport, MMIA, Ikeja, Lagos, by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, with 3 suspects arrested in a series of follow-up operations across Lagos. The cocaine consignments weighing 3.60 kilograms were discovered on 14th October 2025 during examination of cargoes packaged as personal effects going to London, UK, on an Air Peace flight. A cargo agent, Lawal Mustafa Olakunle, who presented the consignments for air freights, was promptly arrested, while investigations stretching into 2 weeks led to the arrest of 2 principal suspects linked to the attempt to export the concealed Class A drug to the UK. In a follow-up operation on 18th October, a female healthcare worker, Ogunmoide Taiwo Deborah, was arrested, which Mutiyu Adebayo Adebiyi, the chief executive officer of a travel agency, Mutiyu Adebiyi and Co., was arrested at his number 23 Adoke Akintola Street, Ikeja GRA, Lagos office on Monday, 20th October. In a similar development, attempt by a 35-year-old Lesotho national, Lamina Mark, to export 103.59 grams of methamphetamine concealed in a diabetes herbs coffee tea pack to the Philippines on an Ethiopian Airlines flight from the Ekano Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, on Wednesday, 22nd October, was thwarted by NDFA officers who arrested him and recovered the illicit drug. No fewer than 21,950 capsules of tramadol, 250 milligrams, concealed inside a 100-liter water heater, were recovered from a suspect, Umar Abubakar, who was arrested by NDFA operatives at Bode Sadu, Moro local government area of Kwara State, following credible intelligence on Tuesday, 21st October. In Lagos, NDFA operatives in the early hours of Sunday, 26 October, raided Proxy Night Club at number 7 Akin Adetola Street, Victoria Island, where a drug party was going on. Over 100 suspects, including the owner of the club, Mike Ezenwale Nwogu, alias Pretty Mike, were arrested and taken into custody for screening. Cartons of illicit substances, including loud and laughing gas, were recovered from the suspects at party and the club store. The raid followed intelligence about the drug party. NDFA operatives who were embedded in the party between 11 p.m. on Saturday, 25th October, however, disrupted the gathering at 3 a.m. on Sunday, 26th October, based on standard operating procedures. In Taraba, the duo of Awal Musa and Salihu Bala were on Tuesday, 21st October, arrested with 450,000 pills of tramadol and Exol 5 at Dan Anacha checkpoints, while conveying the consignment loaded with building materials from Onitsha, Anambra State, to Mubi, Adamawa State. While NDFA officers on patrol along Okene Lokoja Highway, Kogi State, seized 162.200 kilograms skunk, a strain of cannabis, from a truck on Friday, 24th October. Operatives in Nasarawa State on Wednesday, 22nd October, recovered 128 kilograms of same psychoactive substance from a suspect, Abubakar Muhammad, in Kefi area of the state. A mother of two, Oyonumo Glory Effiong, who is a major distributor of Canadian and Californian loud, both strong strains of cannabis in Lekki, Aja, Ikoyi, Victoria Island, and VGC areas of Lagos, have been arrested by NDFA operatives on Friday, 17th October, during a raid at her Lekki home where 500 grams of the illicit substances were recovered. In Ikorodu area of Lagos, NDFA officers on Thursday, 23rd October, raided the home of a suspect, Ogunyabo Adeni Big Bay, at Solomani Estates, where 275 liters of scoochies, a new psychoactive substance produced with black currant drink, cannabis, and opioids, were recovered. A 75-year-old grandpa, Echendu Onowoka, was on Wednesday, 22nd October, arrested at Ovum Village, Obingwa local government area, Abia State, with 4.7 kilograms skunk seized from him, while a 60-year-old grandma, Akwana John, was nabbed with 225 grams of same substance at Apanta village in the same local government area. While 150 kilograms skunk was recovered during a raid operation at Lots Camp, Ikun Akoko, Ondo State, two suspects, Bashir Mohammed and Samini Ahmed Tijani, were nabbed with 234.5 kilograms of same substance at Yanaya, Saminaka in Lere local government area, Kaduna, on Friday, 24th October, just as another set of suspects, Isa Usman and Salvation Okolar, were arrested with 8,600 pills of tramadol, 225 milligrams, and Rofinol along Abuja Kaduna Highway. At the Semeboda area of Lagos, NDFA operatives on Wednesday, 22nd October, nabbed Jacob Ojugbele with 55 kilograms skunk at Ashipa area of Badagry, while Amusa Oluwabukola was arrested with 121.3 liters of scoochies at Itoga Badagry. In Zamfara State, NDLEA operatives on patrol along Gumi Ankara Road on Monday, 20th October, arrested a suspect, Abubakar Ibrahim, in possession of AK-47 rifle and 1,746 assorted calibers of ammunition for AK-47 and GPMG rifles while moving them from Sokoto to Bagega Forest and Kar local government area, Zamfara. Both the suspects and the exhibit have since been handed over to the appropriate security agency for further investigation. While commending the officers and men Lagos, Kwara, Abia, Nasarawa,
That because of space, they would be limited to just 15 minutes to make their initial presentations, and thereafter we'll be having conversations, we'll be having interaction with them. Quickly, let's go through. Let's take the first presentation from Rayan Shobowale. Rayan Shobowale is, I guess, I hope Rayan is right here now. Okay, if Rhea has not moved to the speaker's corner, please let her quickly do that because I'm introducing her right now. And then, well, we have two ladies, young ladies, and we have a young man. And so we'll be taking a lady first, then we'll bring in the young man, and then we'll have a lady close it. So let's start with Rayan Shobowale. Rayan Shobowale is a passionate psychologist committed to destigmatizing mental health and advancing psychological well-being. Rayan currently serves as the youngest wellness counselor at
The things go down, we hear about into altercations, and they can't even trace where the altercation started from because they were all intoxicated and they were all under the influence. So we have so many social risks that are equally involved in that are equally a consequence of this experience. We have things like unsafe sexual experiences. Unfortunately, because of the scene, we have sometimes people get sexually assaulted because the entire environment is not a emphasize the part that the environment and the mood plays in this entire thing. Because of the mood, they keep using their peers jeer them is that number one, your generation is different from our generation, and parents have to realize that it is. I think it's the first step to even building a relationship with your child, especially your contemporary. The temptations that are available now. So you have to look at these things with empathy. So another thing is parents have to realize that their parenting have to evolve. They have to so that they learn healthy coping mechanisms. And then when they become adults, when they become young adults, adolescents, they don't fall into substance abuse as a way to regulate their emotions. So parents need to also realize that they are really the first teachers that a child has. So they have to be a model parent. We get parents, they call us, they're like, they don't know where, when, how their child started to hang out with the bad company that they have right. And the child sees that, internalizes that. Unfortunately, a lot of parents are not observant. If you are observant, if you create time to bond with your child, to know your child, to discuss. Up. And why is she doing this? She's doing this because, first off, maybe she has a beef with the father. These are real life experiences that we get daily. We have people tell us things like this. They have heightened, curiosity. They want to explore new things. They want to do so many new novel and pleasurable things. There's so many ways we can do this, by championing good courses. I mean, everybody's seeing what
drug abuse and promoting prevention strategies that safeguard individuals and communities. A vocal campaigner against drug trafficking and substance abuse, Ogenevo mobilizes young people, institutions, and key stakeholders to unite in building a healthier and safer society. In his current intensive collaboration, firmly establishing Take the next speaker. Let me introduce the next speaker. Oganebo will have to make his presentation. Will have to take his presentation as the last one. She exemplifies a new generation of legal minds dedicated not only to justice but also to human flourishing and holistic well-being. As director of Mida Mind, Samira leads mental health awareness.
or older generations who sometimes don't really get it. I think for a lot of young people, the attraction comes down to three main things: curiosity, like Ryan said, social validation, and escape. Firstly, curiosity. We live in a very digital age where everything is hyper visible. So you see people glamorize getting high, showing off parties on Snapchat or TikTok, and it looks fun. It looks chill. Sometimes it even looks luxurious. And when you're young, it's easy to think, oh, let me just try it once. And sometimes that one time is enough. It's too many times. And then there's also social validation. No one wants to be the boring friend. And when everyone around you is chasing that main character energy, it's very easy to fall into this mindset of, oh, if I don't join, I'll be left out. And finally, escape. Honestly, a lot of young people are just trying to cope. There's academic pressure, family issues, unemployment, heartbreak, and so much noise in our generation that sometimes people just want to take a break from reality. And drugs and alcohol become the shortcut to that temporary peace. So the attraction isn't always rebellion. Sometimes it's just numbing pain or wanting to belong. But The problem is that temporary escape can easily turn into a trap. Next is the part that we don't talk about enough, especially amongst young people, the real risks. First, there's the physical side. There's a lot of mixing and experimenting going on, alcohols, pills, edibles, codeine, and even prescription drugs. But half the time, people don't even know what is actually in what they're taking. Pills get laced and drinks get spiked. We all know the issue about going on in the US where fentanyl is being added into regular drugs. There's some news about people that thought they were just taking regular edibles and ended up blacking out. People have been rushed to the hospitals, and it's happening a lot amongst young people. There's also the mental health side. People joke a lot about being high or out of it, but the truth is that drugs can really mess with your mind. There can be permanent effects as well. People have developed paranoia, anxiety, or even depression after consistent use. There's people that used to be super confident, creative, we're always drawing, we're always active, and just using Molly or codeine could make them withdraw. And a permanent effect of those drugs is that you lose the feeling of happiness unless you're on those drugs. And that's what addiction looks like in real life. A very slow disconnection from yourself and the people around you. There's also the social risk. So, long after these things have taken place, there's video evidence. So these parties are often recorded. Videos get shared around, people's reputations get ruined, sometimes permanently. Because imagine being tagged in a viral clip of you doing something and you don't even remember doing it. That's how one night can follow you for years. So it's not just your health, it's also your image, your peace of mind, your safety. The risk is layered. It's also not enough to just say don't do drugs because that doesn't solve the problem of why people turn to them. It's important that we find alternatives, give people safe spaces that give them the same sense of connection or relief. For example, I've seen people find community in fitness groups, dance classes, late night walks, or even creative projects. Those spaces give you the same adrenaline, the same feeling of belonging, just in a healthy way. I personally believe in what I call a natural high. That's when you create experiences that elevate your mood naturally through movement, scent, music, laughter, or purpose. Like you don't need a pill to feel good when you've got good friends, good energy, and good boundaries. But to make that work, we have to stop shaming people and start offering real options. We need more youth led events, art spaces, mental health check ins, and honest conversations. Because when people have a better outlet, they don't need the dangerous ones. The next part I'll be talking about is a bit sensitive, but very important. There's a serious communication gap between parents and young people. And so, like Ryan mentioned, most parents find out about these things after something bad has happened. The truth is that a lot of us don't talk to our parents because we know they'll react with judgment, anger, or punishment, and not understanding. And I think parents need to realize that being open doesn't mean that they're encouraging it, it means that they're building trust. Like, imagine if instead of yelling, your mom said, okay, let's talk about why you felt like you needed to do that. That could change everything. We need more empathy and less panic because right now, fear is the main barrier stopping people from being honest. And if we bridge that gap, we'll catch a lot of these issues before they spiral. And then to the part that matters, how to bridge this parental gap. A lot of parents genuinely want to protect their kids, but they don't realize that fear based parenting does not work anymore. The world has changed, and young people today are exposed to things at 14 that their parents probably didn't know until their 20s. So when a parent reacts with anger, shouting, or shame, it pushes the child further away. They stop talking, start hiding, and make decisions in silence. And that's how things can get dangerous. Parents need to understand that being approachable is stronger than being authoritative. If your child can come to you and say, Mom, I was at a party and someone offered me this without fearing punishment, that's how prevention starts. I would like to paint a few practical scenarios or give practical tips about this. So one is to lead with curiosity and not control. Instead of saying, "Where did you go? Why were you out so late?" Try, "How was it? Who was there? Did you have fun?" It sounds small, but it opens the door for honesty. Secondly, is to talk early and talk often. So don't wait until there's a problem. Start conversations about substances, safety, and mental health before they encounter them. Let them know the facts and the risks without judgment. Third is to listen first and correct later. Sometimes young people just need to vent. If your child confides in you and your first reaction is shouting, they'll never come to you again. Let them finish, breathe, and then guide. Fourth is model balance. If parents are open about their own stress or coping habits, kids learn that it's okay to feel overwhelmed and still make healthy choices. Fifth is to build a village. Sometimes parents can't do it alone. Teachers, older siblings, mentors, youth programs, all these people can help create a support system that keeps young people feeling grounded. Because the truth is, the opposite of addiction isn't sobriety, it is connection. And when young people feel seen, understood, and supported, they don't go looking for numbness. And in conclusion, I'd like to point out that the truth isn't that drug drug parties aren't just about drugs. There's a symptom of something deeper. We're a generation that's constantly online, constantly under pressure, constantly told to keep it together. And sometimes the easiest way to feel okay is to feel nothing at all. But numbness isn't peace, it's just silence before the crash. I've seen too many bright people dim themselves trying to keep up, trying to escape, trying to belong. And the saddest part is most of them didn't need saving. They just needed someone to notice. So maybe the real work isn't shouting, "Don't do drugs," but asking, what pain are we not talking about? Because the truth is, young people don't want destruction. We want direction. We don't want intoxication. We want connection. And if we can create spaces at home, in schools, in communities where people feel seen, heard, and valued, this entire culture will lose its grip. Drug parties thrive in silence and shame. And at the end of the day, drug culture among young people isn't just a moral issue, it's an emotional one. People are looking for peace, excitement, and belonging. And if we want to fix it, we need to start by offering those things in healthier ways. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much there, Samira, for making it very sharp, precise, and an interesting one. I can always count on Samira. Thank you very much there. Okay, quickly, let's wrap it up with Ogenebo. Ogenebo is back now. Ogenebo, you were already introduced before, so let's have your presentation within 15 minutes. Quickly, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. First off, I think I have to apologize for the break in my network. I'm so sorry. So I'll just go direct to the point. We already have great speakers that has discussed about this topic. It is very essential that we touch some of these things. So the topic already said creeping culture of drug party among the young adolescents. So very quickly, I'm going to discuss how that uh, this culture of having a party and before you see the party has now become something um, that ends up with activities that the adolescents and young people in our age will consume, and at the end of the day you find them misbehaving. So for a fact, it is one situation where that at every hangout you see birthday parties, picnics, any party at all that is concerned. In fact, sadly, for some religious gathering where we have young people now, most of them are we've had recorded cases where some of them actually end up taking some of these things to be active in their work. They choose to call it different name, but one of the name is for them to stay very active. We see people going for all night. For instance, as a Christian, they want to go to all night, and then you see that for them to stay active throughout the night, they have to take different pills just for them to sleep and not to be able to doze off and all that. Same goes to other religious activities. So it is even beyond clubbing. It is even beyond schools. It has now creeped into our religious religious settings. So I'm going to quickly talk about the attraction, the risk, and then how that we can bridge the parental gap. So for one of the very things that has attracted youth to engaging in taking this drug, the very first that we have seen and have experienced is the aspect of peer pressure, the aspect of peer pressure and social validation. You see, one of the many things that we face, in this our for the young people, what we face is that we want to be seen as somebody that belongs to the class. We want to be seen that there's a rate that is set, like a higher rate, and then we don't want to be caught off guard. We don't want to be seen as the little one. So most times we find these young people engaging in this thing just so they can belong. They don't want to be the odd one out. They just want to be part of the people, that will be regarded as the big boys and big girls. And then one other thing that has attracted people is the aspect of curiosity. And this young age is the age where we tend to want to discover things, a phase of trying new things and pushing boundaries. So, but then, unfortunately, the curiosity is often misdirected because there is no safe guidance. So you see some persons come and they say, okay, let me just try it, and also from the first point I talked about with the issue of peer pressure, when some of their friends will tell them just try it for once, just take this scanner, you just try once, just puff it once, just one puff, and then you now find out that by the time they now puff it once, it becomes something that they will want to try over and over again. And so the the other one um, that has made our youth to be so much to be so much involved and attracted to this thing is the influence that music, pop cultures, and entertainment has had. Good Lord. You see, for music that we see people playing now, both high life, both everything, to promote some of these
I guess we lost. Okay.
drugs and all that. And then the fourth one is the emotional, please, your voice, please. The emotional escape and the mental distress. So that's another very important one where we see that people that tend to engage in this actually find themselves using. So, and then by the time you now see that some persons that are trying to struggle emotionally, although many persons tend to use this as as an excuse for them to get engaged in drugs, that okay, they're emotionally down, heartbreak, trauma, low self-esteem, they have no employment, family pressure, and many others. So you now see them that they want to use drugs as their escape route, as of their therapist and all that. But unfortunately, it doesn't go as planned. And then lastly, on the issue of attraction, what attracts these people into doing this is the absence of strong mentorship and family guidance. You see, when home is no longer safe, the when parents are too busy, too harsh or distant, unfortunately they find it in peer circles, and then where drugs are now used as badge of freedom. So this is one of the major things that we use it. So I'm going to talk about the risk now. Like I said, there are three things I want to talk about: the attraction. Now I'm going to talk about the risk because of my time. So I'm trying to be very fast with it. So the risks, unfortunately, the risks that we find them using is now the risk of these things is something that when you are not very involved in it, these things they damage our physical vital organs like the brains, the liver, the heart, the lungs. Many concussions most times that are used, for these drug parties, or unfortunately now end up damaging, you know, our vital organs. And then one of the other risks is it also deal with our mental health, for the young people, we are facing a crisis, and then we see an increase in this society now. We see very increased percentage of depression, psychosis, anxieties, and many other mental disorders. And also, it also affects one of the risks is that it also affects our social and academic lifestyle. So it has for fortunately in our higher institutions now, about 60%, if not close to 80% of the academias they are seen, you know, uh, taking, abusing drugs, and then this has led to poor concentration. There is no way you take drug and then you now find out that their grades are what they are is degrading. Absenteeism and many other cases. And at the end of the day, sometimes they will not be able to maintain that lifestyle, and they end up dropping out. So some cases too, we have seen that in the academic life, you see them getting involved into cultism, violence, and social promiscuity. So that's one of the risk. And then for the very last phase of this thing, uh, how we tend to bridge the parental gap. And really, this is where the root actually lies. So it is very important that though we want to appreciate that the persons that are in this space are not just the young people. We have parents that are here too. We have a lot of advocates, mothers, that is in this space that is listening to us. So this this particular phase is mostly under explained. It's mostly under explained. It's mostly underrated, and it is very important that actually this is where the regap actually exists, which is the home, and we cannot effectively fight drug abuse among adolescents without actually talking about family environment. So, and one of the things that we have found ourselves today is that there is a communication gap between the parents and the children. And for the fact that there's this communication gap, it has led to um, the high rates of of drug addicts that we have on the streets. You see, many cases now, we see parents, they are way too busy pursuing survivors, pursuing their jobs, and many other things. In fact, they get to a case where you see that some parents are very judgmental and strict, when it has to do with all of these things. They find it difficult having just normal conversation with their children. And then, and then this actually led to cases where would I have that the the youths or the young ones are not able to confide in their parents because of their judgmental, habits, because of their busy aspect, yes, busy habits, and then you now find out that they are find themselves engaging in this thing. But then one of the things here is we are not here to talk about the problem, but then how to bridge this gap that the parenting have caused. So one of the things we'll do is number one, first is communication. Parents in this regard must learn to talk with their children, not at them. It has to be communication. It is not. It doesn't have to be about giving instructions. So they have to be they have to actually learn it. They have to learn it. Create space where the young ones can actually express themselves without fear of being judged. Okay, if I tell my mama about this now, what they go talk. For for some people, when you see that their children comes to speak with them and they say, okay, uh, my friends they smoke. Immediately the parent or the father or the mother just hear that, oh, my friend they smoke. Automatically they want to assume that, oh, for your friend to be smoke, it means that you are smoking. You see, so the parents will be so judgmental. Listen, they wouldn't want to speak with them, and then the number two is that they have to educate them. You see, education. The parents actually have to intentionally learn about new drugs trends, social media slangs, and behavioral stage of abuse. You cannot prevent what you don't understand. So there should be a case where intentionally, not by accident, but intentionally, the parents have to learn, have to be educated on the trends that we have, social media slangs, the how drugs are being sold, different things. Recently, I think now people when you see people selling all this cannabis and all that, they no longer package into. They've designed new delivery packages. Well, even when you look at it, you think it's for toy. You think it's toy. Even all these Rizzlers, things that they use, it's no longer the way it used to be. Even if their child should bring such things to their house, they find out that they will not be able to identify these things because they are not educated. They don't have an idea of what it is. So intentionally, the parents must sit to learn on how to identify some of these things. And then the second to the last on this bridging parental gap is that the parents actually they have to share responsibility. This is where, unfortunately, many persons feel when it has to do with drugs, it is directly, they just have to be just NDLAs. But that is not the case in this way. It has to be a shared responsibility. The fight against drug abuse is not just for NDLA or the school. The parents must start. It starts from every home, from every religious leader, teachers, even and community groups. So by the time everybody shares the responsibility, and we try to push from every corner where the young people, because when they are home, they spend a good number of time in the school. When they are done from school, they come to the family. So by the time when they are every space they find themselves, find out that everybody in that space tend to speak to them about how they can try to avoid this drug abuse. It will become systematic. In fact, they will end up getting enough knowledge because in church where they go to on Sundays and weekdays, the pastors or whatever Catholic Reverend Fathers, everybody speaks on this. And then when they are home for the good hour of the day, both in the day and the night, the parents find themselves talking to them about this. When they are in school, they also do the same. So everywhere that they go, they find out there are people that are talking to them about this. Then lastly, they have to now learn how to communicate with their children. You know, for instance, for instance, um, if a, if their child should tell them about probably abusing drug or stuff that they've seen, there have to be a systemic way of of talking to them in such a way that the child will feel safe to want to come to talk to them more about other things, even outside drug abuse. There is a way you communicate with your children. You know, the children will feel safe around you, and then they will always want to share whatever it is that happens with them, with their friends, and everything with their parents. And um, so for the very last one, this is going to be like a call for action. I have to quickly remind us that this conversation that we are having, even after my two other speakers have talked about, it's actually not just about drugs. It's about our values, about our families, about our future, not just about drugs. That's the truth. And then the culture of drug parties among adolescents now, it's something that is increasing on a daily basis, like on a daily basis. So it's increasing on a daily basis, and it's very important that all of us have to join our hands together to see how that we can try our best to, reduce it to the barest minimum, like reduce it. So, into every one of us that's listening, both parents, I mean, let's just start tonight. That's the plain truth. Let's start tonight. Ask your child how they are doing, not just their grades, but ask them questions beyond school. Ask them questions beyond the norms that you normal question you ask. Just ask them other questions, And then for the young ones too, I also have to appeal to us that it's our responsibility to also try our own best to take actions. It doesn't have to be that it's your friends that's going to bring you into taking drugs. You can also take them out of it. Talk to them about it. So, and I believe that together, when we join hands together, definitely there will be a way we can affect our people. So this is all I have to say. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for joining.
All right, thank you very much there. Ogenevo Andrew Efe for your presentation. Quite a lot of insights there. Thank you once again. And would like to appreciate the earlier speakers, that is talking of Rayan Shobo Wale, and Samira Bello. Thank you, ladies there. All right, quickly, let's acknowledge some of our compatriots. We appreciate all of those joining us via our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Thank you. On X space here, We have Dr. Wahab Abdullah. That's Dr. Wahab Abdullah is a consultant psychiatrist at the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria. Thank you, Dr. Abdullah. We also have Dr. James Komolafe. Thank you. We also have Dr. Kemi Odunloyo. Thank you, Dr. Kemi. We have Professor Rosemary Ogu. Thank you. We have Winning Tayo Lawa, MedSense News. Dr. Jonah Kolo. Dr. Jonah Kolo is a senior officer of the agency. We also have Professor Higiato Adayofo. Thank you, Prof. Prof was once a speaker on this platform. Victoria Ochechi, a regular. We have Virginia Ezine Oguma. We have Funsho Jimo. We have Pascal Ewebu, another regular. We have Abba. We have Hussein Sani, Femi WTF, Oboge AA Ofuje, Christiana Dahiru, Prince Isaac, Kari Obi, Woni Wole Ganus. Thank you, Wole Wole Ganus. We also have Hassan Rashid, Janet Nambakori, Inemesit, Oyebanji, Janet Himika, Timan, Euphemia Fozi, Winner Fatoyinbo, Dr. Ife Oluwayimika Bamidele. Thank you, Dr. Ife. That's in Abuade. Prince S. Eshimokai. Thank you, Prince. We have Mosope Koka, Sheun Olufowora, Ibrahim Bello, Oshoba Olani, Femi Ladiran, and a host of others. Let's just halt it at this point. Let's pause it here at this point so that we can take some reactions and contributions. Perhaps anyone wants to make contribution. This is the time to ask to move over to the speaker's corner. Just request we approve you, and then you hold on, you remain muted until we approve you. You like to put some questions across to the young ladies and the young man that have just made their presentation. Please feel free. Apart from those we have, apart from questions we have in DM, I don't doubt if we'll be able to take all of them, but I think I've seen one of the leaders on the platform. Dr. Kemi, let's quickly have your take.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for this. What my question is, now we are looking at way at which we can battle drug, and I'm looking at the fact that if weed, cannabis, is illegal, why do we have supermarkets selling Rizla? We all know that Rizla have only one function, which is to wrap weed. Why do we have? I feel like this Rizla should be also contraband. It should be stopped. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, team man there. Let's take the next from Dr. Kemi. Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, please go ahead.
Real quick, because there's no time, I just wanted to mention that I was listening to this entire space and all the speakers from far away. However, there's something that we didn't talk about on this space, maybe because people don't know. It is very important, Mr. Babafemi, that you bring NAFDAC as well as, I contribute to the topics on this space, NAFDAC and NAPTIP on a particular space to have this show again. We've repeated a lot of shows in different forms. The reason is because of December of 2023, the 6 girls that went to a party in Lekki and they were missing. The police could not find them. The parents never came to report. Party. It was not a drug party. They just went to a party and their drinks were laced with GHB, okay, gamma hydroxybutyrate. It's like Rohypnol, the tablets. These are what they call date rape drugs. And what they're doing now is that they're not raping people, they're just literally knocking them out and trafficking them into other countries for sex work. The 2 girls we found, they woke up in Accra and they were doing sex work and they didn't even know where they were. So in a way, it looks like a drug party, but it's really not a drug party, but it's something we need to talk about. So that's my only contribution today. I want everybody to go read the story online and be very aware of what's going on at these parties. These girls were underage, and your girls will tell you they're going to a party, to their girlfriends' birthday parties, and they've laced the drinks with these drugs, and then they're trafficked out. The ones that went to Libya, some of them escaped in Kano, okay, and they arrested one of the traffickers. But this is a new style now. They'll poison their drinks and they'll take them to another country for sex work. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Kemi. There. Okay, let's have the question or control. I'll ask, please let all the guest speakers be noting all of this. We'll react to them because of our time. That's why I can't allow us to be reacting to this individually, but then collectively, when we are done taking all the reactions, we'll be inviting our guest speakers to pick any of the questions or contributions to speak to. Okay, let's have Femi WTF. I don't know what that means, but then please go ahead, unmute yourself, and let's hear from you.
Okay. Thank you, NDLE Nigeria, for the opportunity. I think I need no introduction. I listen to everybody and whatever everybody has to say, and I would say everybody has contributed in their own way, and we are all on the same track. Is as we all know, Nigeria is not a drug-free society. There are people in our society that are victims of substance abuse, drugs, and all other kind. But other than the psychological part, I'm just talking about parents giving advices to their children. Some of these people that are suffering from these so-called things, they are not children. Some people are adults. Some people are even people's mothers, and they are suffering from abuse of different kinds. So I think we should look into ways that we can educate the people. Like for the sex space now, somebody spoke about sex, one of the speakers. There is proper sex education. If you don't want to get pregnant, why not use a condom? Yeah, that one is well known to everybody. So, but for drugs education, some of these people are not educated. Some of these people are laymen, and they are doing it just like the speaker Samira said. Some people are doing the drug thing because of the pressure amounted by the society, maybe from friends, maybe from family. Oh, I can actually inculcate in the society that can help the people suffering from this particular thing. I don't know if you've seen it already. I do tag the NDLEA very well. I started a movement called Buy Arts Not Drugs. Okay, as we all know, I said buy arts, though I'm an artist, but it does not literally mean buy art, buy paintings. What is art? I can hear we have professors, journalists, and important people in academics. Some of the people here have PhD. What is art? Art is culture. Art is our way of life. If we buy art and we don't buy drugs, what's our way of life? For the Yorubas, we are respectful people because in the Yoruba culture, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá, o ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ sáwọn àgbàlagbà tí ò yẹ kó jẹ́ wọ́n máa bá ẹ wí. You wake up in the morning, you greet, you clean your house, and you do some of the necessary important things. If on a day-to-day activities, you do the things that you're supposed to do, and you go back to your way of life, you would not have a reason to really depend on drugs because art can actually help us subsidize what these drugs has done to the society. I personally am speaking from experience. I once abused these substances. So I observe a pattern that, okay, if this thing is happening to me, definitely it should have happened to people that have suffered the same thing as me. And what is one of the patterns I observe? I would say it's time consuming, it's time wasting. If you consume a particular drug, you will feel the ecstasy for like maybe hours, and before you know, hours, you try it again, before you know, in a day, you've not achieved anything. You smoke in the morning for maybe, let's say you smoke in the morning, for example, before the eye clears up, it might be afternoon. And for people that are already addicted, they don't even smoke once in a day. Some people go on, they smoke in the morning, they smoke in the afternoon, they smoke in the night, and they keep going on. That cycle keeps going. Before you know, you are now an active user. In a month, you smoked countless times. And sometimes you cheat nature, you cheat sleep. And we all know the benefit of sleep. If you don't sleep, your psychology aspect will not be intact. You don't get enough rest. You don't go for long walks during the day. You don't drink much water daily, because if you smoke, you just want to eat and you drink less of water. And before you know, pot belly, big stomach, and a lot of other different things that shows in our day-to-day activities. So I would say if we embrace art and going back to our way of life, like our the elderly ones would instruct us to do as we were growing, the need for us to depend on substance and drugs to live a healthy life, it will be less. And that's why I think, because telling the people, 'cause I've heard other speakers saying, if parents now telling the child, talking, all these things, talking don't just do something. We need to show the light and the people we follow. There are people on the streets that are suffering from substance intake. There are people in the streets that are suffering from drugs. How can the layman come free of drug addiction? How can the layman that does not go to school stop using that drugs? He needs somebody to show him the light. We need to give these people hope. I think the NDLA should encourage more drug education, like this one I joined to share my voice. More drug education. Don't do this type of drugs. I don't know. I've been hearing that there are a lot of educated people here. I am a student of the Federal University of Technology Owerri. I studied chemical engineering. And as a chemical engineering student, what's chemical engineering? It's a branch of engineering that involves the science and transformation of raw materials into finished products. Some of these substances that these people consume and they use on a day-to-day activity, on a day-to-day basis, they don't know what they are using. They don't know what they are using. Some of these drugs contain chemicals that, as a chemical engineer, we produce some kind of other chemicals that are not drugs, but chemicals like hydrochloride, and we work on different things in the lab. Some of these things that these people are taking into their system is not healthy, but the education around it is not really common. So what's the easiest way to tell these people? Then I said, buy art. Buy art, go back to your way of life, embrace culture. If you embrace culture, you listen to the elders, you involve yourself in important things. Art helped me get rid of my own addiction. To get rid of my addiction, I had to focus, okay, I know if I smoke this particular thing, I will not be able to paint, I will not be able to do this, I will not be able to do that. So I started doing the things that I know that if I involve my time into, it will give me less time to want to depend on smoking or depend on doing other drugs for me to be an healthy person or for me to feel among the society. And I'm proud of myself because I'm better. I've been sober for a while now, no drugs and no smoke. So if it can work for me, I believe it can work for other people out there that are suffering the same. So we should go back to our day-to-day life. And for those that are already having issues with the drugs, we should educate them. If you take ginger tea and lime and lemon day to day for like 21 days, your lungs, you breathe better, your lungs will feel very, very safe. And these things are even cheaper. It's cheaper compared to the drugs that they are buying. Some of these people spend 20,000, 100,000, 50,000, 10,000, 5,000 a day just for them to feel high for a while. And they repeat that process again for every day, every day, every day, every day. First, it's affecting their finances. At the end of the day, at the end of the month, you discover that you have less money to save because you're not investing in your way of life and you don't know how you should live your life on a day-to-day basis, or because you're looking towards people on the internet, you want to feel among. So I believe that if we really educate the people on what to do and how to go back to the normal and the right way of life, I think we should have less time discussing on what it has actually done to people already. Because trying to say people should stop, they need to
All
be
right.
shown the light.
Let- Let's wrap it up, Femi.
Okay, just give me like 2 more minutes. For people that are already
No, not 2 minutes. Let's give you 30 seconds, Femi.
okay,
30
okay,
seconds.
okay, okay, okay. For people that are already suffering, what can they do on a day-to-day basis? Make sure you go for walk every day. In the evening, go for evening walk. It helps your lungs breathe better. And for those people that consume cigarettes, because cigarettes is legal in Nigeria, make sure that you smoke your cigarettes in open places that you can have the air to breathe in very, very well. Make sure you to drink hot things. Hot things will help you. And for those doing drugs, I will just tell them to stop because they don't know what they are doing and they don't know what they are consuming. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Femi. We are equally proud of you, not just only you proud of yourself. We are proud of you for remaining sober and also engaging in art as an alternative to doing other illicit stuff. Thank you very much. And considering the fact that you are still a student and you already know this much and already uh, on this path, thank you once again, Femi, for your contribution. That has been an excellent contribution from Femi. Let's quickly take reactions from our guest speakers. Okay, perhaps we have Elbasin. Let's give Elbasin some 30 seconds. Your contribution or question, Elbasin. Quickly, 30 seconds. Emerson, unmute yourself. Let's take you for. Okay, let's since Emerson is not ready, let me quickly approve uh Christina Dairu. I just want to take all the contributions or questions at once so that um our guest speakers can react to them.
Good
Okay,
evening.
where is Christina?
Good evening.
Christina, go ahead.
Good evening. This is Sebastian.
Okay, Emerson, quickly, 30 seconds.
Okay, sir. What I want to say is kudos to everybody that have contributed to this topic. I was born and raised up on the island, Lagos Island, to be precise, and I can tell you this topic you are bringing up is very, very important for the society to be aware of the danger in drugs, substances, and whichever way it goes. Because on the island, I was born in the late 70s. And while growing up, I'm sorry, I may end up using too many. I just want to pass an information so that whichever way it goes to act upon, let's see what we can do about it. I was born in the late 70s. And
Just limit it to Ebasi. Make it 1 minute, please. I
okay,
gave you 30 seconds,
okay,
but make it 1 minute.
okay. Thank you, sir. So I was born in the late 70s, like I said, and I've never in my life tasted anything drugs in my life, but I've been sent to go and buy weeds while I was young, and the same thing has affected most of our young guys on the island today, that they are cannot even get out of it. So what can we do? Because I've tried my best. I'm just fortunate to stay on level without indulging in all crazy stuff. But what can we do to the upcoming ones to not to fall into the trap as well? Thank you so much for the opportunity given, sir. I'm done. Thank you so much. So what can we do to take them out of it, and what can we do to prevent the upcoming ones not to get indulged in the crazy act? Thank you. Spoken. The network. The network.
Okay, Raya, please go ahead. React, speak to any of the issues already raised.
All right, thank you
I'm
so much.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay, Christina, are you okay? Hold on, Raya. Christina, are you ready now?
Yes, I'm ready now, sir. All right.
Please, quickly, 30 seconds.
So what I want to ask or understand is, we all agree that parents need to have an open discussion in the family to children, educate them more about this substance, right? But the thing is, these children do not just look up to the parents, right? There are children that want to be musicians, there are children that want to be actresses. And the celebrities or influencers that we have in the community are very open on their substance use, right? And these children are now on social media. They see it on the television, from the music videos, the movies they watch. What can the society do in regards to that, or what can the agency do about such?
Yes.
Okay, let's have Ibrahim Majika quickly. Ibrahim, 30 seconds. Unmute yourself, Ibrahim Majika. Okay, if Ibrahim is not ready, let's move on to our guest speakers. Let's give Rayan, please go ahead, speak to any of these issues. We come in that direction. Rayan, then Samira, and then Oganevo. Please go ahead, Rayan.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you everybody for the contributions and the questions. So I will be speaking to the question asked by Mr. Elberson. He was asking, what could be done about kids that are being sent on errands to get these substances, and he mentioned weed. Weed is quite popular now. So I think the answer still goes back to our homes, the parents, and our immediate environment. If the parents are not involved in this thing in the first place, there's no need for anybody to send anybody on an errand. So parents need to, like, everybody needs to speak to themselves. I mean, these are adults, these are the people that we look up to. They need to speak to themselves. What they are doing is bad. And on a greater scale, on a larger scale, the community, there's a lot of education and orientation that needs to take place. And just like somebody also raised, we need a lot more drug education. Yes, the NDLA is doing a lot of that already, education, and then the helpline as well. But I think on a smaller scale in communities, maybe local government chairman, just mothers come together, educate the community. It's not everything that we have to leave for the government to do. So somebody mentioned something about I think the people in the community, the boys, or let's say the agoros, the misfits that the society have shunned that use drugs. Honestly, all they need is love and support. If we can come together, let's say Sundays, mothers can come together, even fathers. We don't have to leave everything for the mothers all the time. Even fathers can come together, cook food for them, go meet them, talk to them, listen. What's wrong with them? What made them become what they are today? Before you know it, they draw closer to you, and then everything becomes better. So everything to me, boils down to education, more orientation, and especially in the home. So once a child knows that this is bad and this is wrong, from an early age, and also the child is loved, the person will not go outside to seek this love. And as Christiana said, yes, in the home sometimes all of this is established, but we also have the society, the musicians, they glamorize this lifestyle. It's still education. You still just have to know that regardless of whether people are doing it, it's still wrong. And I think maybe just stricter laws for people that are doing it, because at this point it's
Question. I think it was the first question that I heard. I think about Rizla in supermarkets. So I just wanted to correct one tiny thing. So Rizla is not just used for illicit drugs. Tobacco is legal in Nigeria, and Rizla is also used for tobacco. Um, but the main thing that I would like to emphasize is that we need to communicate better as a society. Parents need to learn to listen more, be aware of what your children are doing. I think it also goes the other way, because there are also parents that are involved in these things and they need help from people around them, which includes their children. Youth, you also need to be, or we also need to be more honest with ourselves and with each other. um, I think self awareness is one of the most important things that anyone can have. If you know you're going through things and you need someone to talk to, please reach out to someone. The first step should not be harmful drugs. The more that we understand what's really driving this culture, the better we can protect each other. It's important that it's not through fear, but through empathy and real connection. Thank you very much, everyone. That's all from me.
All right, thank you, Samira. There, let's say have the final take from Oganevo. Oganevo, are you available? Yes, Oganevo, we can hear you. Okay, we obviously Oganevo's network. Okay, we'd like to appreciate everyone that we have quite a lot on in our DM. We have quite a lot to quite a lot of questions for you guys, but unfortunately, time we just passed the hour already, and we don't like keeping people waiting endlessly. We always want to stick to the time. So I'd like to appreciate all our guest speakers. Talking of Ryan Shobawale, psychologist and mental health advocate. We'd also like to appreciate Samira Bello, mental health advocate, and Ogenebu Andrew Efe, youth activist and mental health advocates. All of you guys have done excellently well today, and thanks to all those that have contributed or asked questions one way or the other. Unfortunately, we also don't have enough time to go around that, but then we appreciate the fact that all of you have a very good understanding of the issues at hand, and you've contributed. Thank you very much, Elbasin, especially. Thank you, T-Man, also, and I believe Samira has responded to T-Man there. Also, we also appreciate Femi. That's Femi, I think, spoke from a uni in the East. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time today. We appreciate your commitment and deep understanding. We also appreciate our diaspora, Dr. Kemi Odunloyo. Thank you for your time also. I guess those are the people that spoke. If I omitted you, it's not deliberate. How again, we'd like to appreciate all our compatriots that have joined us from across the world, those that have connected on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. We appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. And I would also like to appreciate my colleagues on this side, talking of Francis, Dele, Mahmoud, Neta, Itohan, and everyone. I cannot mention all of your names, but I appreciate all of your efforts behind the scene. Thank you very much. Next week is another time. We'll be right back with another topic, another set of speakers to continue to expand the conversation. We can't rest on this matter until we have gotten all that we need. That is cutting down seriously on the demand for illicit substances, especially by young people, and also cutting supply reduction. Thank you, everyone, for your love, for your commitment, and for your interest on this in all of these issues. Thank you. Again, like I often also tell you, it's Friday. Let's not lose guard. Let's not be carried away and get involved in what we may end up being leaving a scar on our lives all through the rest of our lives. Let's avoid things that could put us in trouble. That's the much we can take this week. Until we come your way next time, I say bye from here and I leave you.